Hi, this is Mrs. Corbix, and I am reading the Economics Unit Exam 1 for those of you who have that modification. The first question is, what is economics? A, the study of how people try to satisfy what appears to be seemingly unlimited and competing wants through the careful use of relatively scarce resources. B, employment, gross domestic product, inflation, economic growth, and the distribution of income. C, deals with behavior and decision-making by small units like individuals and firms. D, a rise in the general level of prices occurs workers need more money to pay for good clothing and shelter. 2, what is scarcity? A, giving something up to have something else. B, extra cost of producing one additional unit of production. C, the condition that results from society not having enough resources to produce all the things people would like to have. D, a rise in the general level of prices occurs workers need more money to pay for good clothing and shelter. 3, what is the definition of entrepreneur? A risk taker in search of profits whose initial investment must be returned and creates no new innovation. B, an employee who follows the guidelines of the company. C, an investor in search of breaking up monopolies. D, a risk taker in search of profits who does something new with existing resources to innovate. 4, what is a shortage? A situation in which the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied. A situation in which the quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied. C, a situation in which the quantity demanded is not offered by the manufacturer. D, a situation in which the quantity demanded cannot meet the supply provided. 5, what is a surplus? A situation in which the quantity supplied is not met by the manufacturer. B, a situation in which the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity demanded. C, a situation in which the quantity supplied is less than the quantity demanded. D, a situation in which the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. B and D seem to be the same answer. Sorry. 6, consumers will buy more of a good when its price is lower and less when the price is higher. This is known as A, the law of supply, B, the law of diminishing marginal utility, C, the law of demand, D, equilibrium price. 7, when consumers react to an increase in a product's price by consuming less of that product and buying a different product instead, this is known as A, the butterfly effect, B, the law of demand, C, the substitution effect, D, inelastic demand. 8, the law of demand explains how the price of any item affects the A, quality demanded, B, quantity demanded, C, price demanded, D, schedule demanded. 9, to have demand for a good, you must be A, willing and able to buy it at the reduced price, B, willing and able to buy it at the specified price, C, unwilling, able to buy it at the specified price, and D, able and resistant to buy it at the reduced price. 10, as a good's price blank, people demand less of that good. So as a good's price rises, A, or a good's price falls, B. C, as a good's price stays the same, or D, none of the above. 11, actually that's 10. Buy 3 cases of Red Bull and get 1 free. The price of one more additional item and the determination as to whether or not the consumer will desire the product enough to buy more to get more of it is called A, the law of demand, B, the law of diminishing marginal utility, C, the law of consumer price index, D, the law of supply. 13, the government of a country must make a decision to either increase military spending or subsidizing wheat farmers or ensuring consumer products are available as well, This is known in economics as A. Underutilization of resources. B. Scarcity. C. Guns or butter issue. D. Decision making at the margin. 14. This states that if all other things are equal, as the price of a good rises, its quantity supplied will rise and vice versa. That is A, the law of supply, B, law of demand, C, law of profits and equilibrium price, D, law of obsolescence. 15. A measure of how consumers respond to price changes or how drastically buyers will cut back or increase their demand for a good when the price rises or falls. A, elasticity of demand, B, elasticity of supply, C, incentive, D, law of supply. 16. If you buy much less of a good after a small price increase, your demand is A, elastic, B, inelastic, C, scarce, D, non-existent. 17. What is a fixed cost? A, cost of production that changes when output changes. B, cost of purchasing that does not change when output changes. C, cost of production that does not change when output changes. C, cost of purchasing that changes when output changes. I feel like B and C are again the same answer. I did not make this test. 18. What is a variable cost? A, cost that varies as output changes. B, cost that does not vary as output changes. And C, again, like A, cost that varies as production change. Oh no, production changes, different. D, cost that does not vary as output changes. 19. What is total cost? A, variable plus fixed cost. B, all costs associated with production. C, all costs except for the cost of manufacturing. D, costs that are only for overhead. 20. When you find another item that will provide you with the same amount of utility, satisfaction as your usual product, this is the A, substitution effect, B, equilibrium effect, C, demand effect, D, complement effect. 21. What type of economy is based on custom, habit, and tradition? A, traditional, B, socialism, C, free market, D, command. 22. What do business owners use to determine if they have enough supply to avoid a shortage or a surplus? A, a demand schedule, B, equilibrium price, C, supply schedule, D, Google Calendar. 23. What is the point where the demand curve and supply curve meet that sets the best price for consumers and suppliers? A, equilibrium, B, potential, C, elasticity, D, imaginary. 24. Oil, heat, gasoline, situations and conditions that can cause flexibility in the availability and use of these things tend to have A, fixed costs, or B, variable costs. 25. If you need to buy gas for your car to get to your job and the price of gas is almost doubled, you still have demand and you purchase it anyway, just like you would at any other time. Your demand is A, elastic, or B, inelastic. This test will look different when you see it. It'll be formatted better, but it will be in this order and the recording will be the same. Please feel free to pause my recording after each question and then press play again to continue. I hope this helped. Thank you.